Hi, James.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good, thank
Okay. How you doing? Hey guys, how you doing? I'm doing okay. um, I'm here to talk about um, what else? Fake news and all the lies that the left puts out. And I focus more on CNN and MSNBC. And to me, CNN is the Jerry Springer of news. MSNBC, on the other hand, you could call it the Texas Chainsaw Massacre of news, or you can call it the Chernobyl of news. And that's the stark contrast between the two of them. And something happened this week that warrants this opinion, okay, and my perception of this, okay. Um, Two occasions, I believe, was MSNBC, okay, being totally irresponsible, but they wrote the book on fear mongering. They did, and what's interesting is that they project that onto President Trump, saying that President Trump is a fearmonger. Okay. Um, and I think a lot of them don't even remember 9/11, because the whole point of ICE and Homeland Security was put in place by George Bush, okay, after 9/11. So we do not, because we were caught with our pants down, because we trusted. We trusted. And because we trusted total strangers, that's how 9/11 happened. So now they want to do it all over again. Open the borders, abolish ICE, just so that we don't know who comes into our country, and maybe another 9/11 could strike because our border is not secure. So they call us fear mongers. They were calling Trump fear mongers, homophobic. I'm sorry, xenophobic, and which is a fear of strangers. If we do not know who's coming into our country, we don't know if there's going to be another 9/11 like attack on our soil. It could happen. And that's why we need secure borders and very strict vetting, so we know exactly who's coming. You knock on the door or ring the doorbell, and you wait to get invited into your house. And that's what we want. We want potential new residents and citizens to knock on the door, ring the doorbell, and we say, "Who is it?" And then they tell us who it is, and then we invite them in, or we don't invite them in. Like I did not invite inside our apartment to a friend of mine who felt she could just come over here any old time without calling first, and drive over here wasting gas, saying, "Okay, can you let me in?" I said, "No, we're about to have dinner. This is not a good time. You should have called. Please, you always let me in." "Well, not today. I wasted gas getting here." I said, "Well, that's not my fault. You were the one who decided to get in your car and come over here without calling first to see if maybe we're at home. What if we weren't at home?" It just, you don't make it upon yourself to just storm in on a place just because you think you can. You call first, saying, "How you doing? Is it okay to come over?" And we can say yes or no. See, you wait to get invited in. You don't barge in through the door. Okay, and that's what basically we're trying to do. We're trying to find out who wants to come to our country. And we could say yes or no. And that's our choice. That is our privilege. Just like you have a right to, just like you have a right to say yes or no to whomever comes into your home. Okay, we have the same right. We have the right of choice to say either yes or no. Okay, but the left and MSNBC and CNN, they are they wrote the book on fear mongering. So what was their latest stunt? Actually, there were two of them. Two of them. Actually, three, I think. One was that their claim that Trump will commit as more murders than Hitler, Stalin, and Mao Zedong combined. I said, that's a good one. Hey, gotta give him credit for creativity. That's very creative. Who wrote that for you? Who wrote that? Did your son write that and say, hey, this is a good line to use? I mean, that's the kind of thing that got my friend petrified, that so many people are going to get slaughtered under Trump's hands. I mean, and he's so afraid for my sake and for my help and for my well-being. And he prays that nothing happens to me by Trump's hands. And I have to assure him, he says, that's not going to happen. Who told you that? That's the most absurd thing I ever heard. I mean, come on. We have more jobs than we have people to fill them. Are you telling me that Trump is going to round up all these hardworking people who have jobs, get them off those jobs, and have them slaughtered? And then we have even more jobs available than we have people to fill them? Come on. Use your brain that God gave you. Besides, that's utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. You know. Everybody loved Trump until he ran for office. Now they hate him. And now they're coming up with the most worst slanders I've ever heard. You know. So that's number one. I said, that is very irresponsible to spread that kind of rumor. You know, to invoke fear in everybody and panic. Fear our president. I mean, how absurd is that? I mean, that is just outrageously absurd. I mean, oh my God. And they try to vilify the agents, the ICE agents, as being concentration guard soldiers, concentration camp soldiers. That didn't go well. Okay, now we'll attack president, and we will use the same label on him that they try to do on, because they try to say that on the ICE agents, and guess what? Somebody shot up an ICE facility, and someone was wanting to burn down one. You know, or innocent people are going to get hurt. You know, this is what I'm talking about, folks. This is how dangerous this is. All these lies, all these out-and-out lies and fear-mongering that MSNBC, CNN, and everybody on the left instills in the unsuspecting public. We know that they're all lies. We do. But the people who invested all their trust in these two, especially these two stations, which I have no understanding why. Okay, they got more things wrong and corrected them than any other news channel I've ever heard. That they would get something wrong, and then they would later have to apologize for getting it wrong. And CNN and MSNBC are like the champs of that. they're the heavyweight champ of lying and having to correct it. and say, we were mistaken. That was not true what we told you. I'm glad you admit it. You know. So that was number one. Okay. That Trump is going to commit mass murder, which is absurd. Is absurd, and it's got my longtime school friend so petrified and terrified that he's ready to leave the country to avoid getting murdered. And he's so afraid that as long as I stay here, I will get murdered by Trump. And it's like, oh, come on, that's not going to happen. That's ridiculous. You know, and so he prays for me every day. He prays for my safety. You know, I was like, okay, you know, the only thing you got to pray for me on is that my health gets better and I don't get worse health-wise. You know, that's the only praying that I really need.
That's okay.
Oh, that's nice squeeze in there.
It is, man. Oh, that's so good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Okay, that's number one. Number two. Number two is that I think it was on the Rachel Madcow show. Somebody was on, somebody on O'Neill, maybe Ryan O'Neill's grandfather or something, I don't know. Came on and said that he's got a blockbuster or a news report. I forget exactly, a bombshell, that's what it is, bombshell, that Deutsche Bank, that Trump needed to have a co-signer on a loan that is associated with Russian people or some idiotic notion about that. And they even offered a comment saying, why would a millionaire need a co-signer? Guess why? Because he wouldn't. Hello. That makes sense, doesn't it? It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Oh. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And nobody around here did it. This place is haunted. No, I'm just kidding. I gotta be careful with my laughter, man. And they say somebody could die laughing, and that could be me. Nah. Just kidding. So, and even Rachel Maddow was like shocked. It was like, what? It's like, are you serious? Because they already abandoned that bogus story anyhow. And then Trump got his legal team saying, "Now that's really slanderous," you know, and that I think Trump was going to sue him for slander or something like that, or some other damaging reason, and to issue an apology, which he did. Hi. Yeah. We apologize for the fake news that I presented to you. Please forgive us. There's the haunted door again. I think this is fun being over on this side. Anyhow, so that's the second one. It's like, I think if more Americans distrust media before, they definitely do now. And they should just give up. They should just give up. They're not fooling anybody anymore. Everybody's on to them. They make more mistakes and say, I was at fault for doing this. I was at fault for saying, if this were true, if true, if what I'm about to tell you is true, well, guess what? Don't say anything and get back to us when you know for a fact that it's true. In the meantime, keep your conspiracy theories to yourself. We don't want to hear them. You know, you people are accusing us of being conspiracy theorists. You people definitely are. You are the worst conspiracy theorist, for lack of a better way of saying it, than I've ever heard. All these lies you spewed out. You know, the Russia collusion delusion is dead, and obstruction of justice is dead. So what could they do now? What could they do now? Go after President Trump and say he is worse than Hitler, Stalin, and Mao Zedong combined. It's like, that's a good one. That's a good one. I gotta admit, I gotta give you an A for creativity. You know, nice try. But you know what? We don't believe you. We wouldn't believe you if your tongue came notarized. Hey, Michael.
You're the man, Jim.
Thank you. You too.
Why, thank you, sir. I'm going to be in the building now.
Yeah. Got in there before the door closed. So they went and said that was okay. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. And then comes the money that Trump allotted to improve conditions at the border facility for more bunk beds, more furniture, bigger facility, and everything else. And what does Pelosi say? That is unnecessary. That's a waste of money. Really? You people have been complaining about the conditions at the facility. You're just as bad as the Wayfair employees walking off the job because Wayfair wanted to donate beds and blankets and toiletries and other needs down to the facility. And so that nobody is sleeping on the floor. And everybody can be comfortable. And the Wayfair employees said, no, don't do it. Don't send anything down. Don't give them free beds. Don't give them free blankets. Don't give them toiletries. Don't give them anything. We will protest this act by walking off the job because we don't agree with you helping the people down there. Or you donating beds and blankets and everything down there so everybody down there can be comfortable and not feel like they're in a can of sardines. So you have the Wayfair employees protesting the company for wanting to donate beds and blankets and other stuff down there. And then you got Pelosi I just saw the mail truck heading that way. And that was the mail girl. That was the mail lady who just walked out. Wow. Did that mail truck drive itself? And why is it driving over there if you're over here? Hey, this is a very exciting part of this place here, I tell you. Wow, we got a haunted front door here, and we got an empty, a driverless mail truck, while the mail lady is coming out the door. I don't know where she went to, but she hightailed out of here. She's gone. Okay. So when I heard Pelosi complain about Trump's wanting to use a certain amount of the emergency fund to improve the conditions of the facilities down there, which she and others have been complaining about, okay? And then she says, don't do it. It's wasteful. It's not necessary. Really, it's not necessary. You have been complaining about it. That everybody's sleeping on the floor. You were complaining everybody's sleeping on the floor, and then Wayfair wants to donate beds, and then their employees walked up the job saying, if you're going to donate beds to those people down at the facility where they need them, we're walking off the job because we protest you helping them. Let them sleep on the floor. Let them be without toiletries. Let them be without blankets. We want them miserable so we can complain about them. That's basically what the Wayfair employees were doing when they walked out on a walkout protest. You know, because Wayfair wanted to help. And when Trump wanted to help, Pelosi said, don't send any money down there. Don't use any money to get build a better facility. Don't spend any money on those migrants down there. Let them suffer. Because the money that you're putting down there is wasteful and it's not necessary. Don't spend any money down that facility. Don't help those people. Let us continue to complain. We need to complain about them. Sick, these people are sick. I tell you, I feel I'm so glad I left the Democrat Party. I am so glad. Because now I can see what's going on. What's really going on. And it's shameful. It is absolutely shameful. You know, what the Democrats and everybody on the left is doing. It is absolutely shameful. I mean, it's just, I think shameful is the best word to describe this. You know, they're hypocrites. They're total hypocrites. They complain about the conditions, and when two people, Wayfair and Trump, both want to do something to help them, then everybody on the left saying, don't help them. And if you do, we're going to walk off the job and we're going to sue you for wanting to help them. And so that's what they're doing. I think it's like, 8 states or something like that. California and New York, among others, who's surprised, definitely not me, okay, are suing the administration for wanting to help the migrants down there. Now, how insane is that? How insane is that? And they claim they're the party of compassion. Oh my God! You got the wrong dictionary, people. If this is supposed to be compassion, you got the wrong dictionary, my friends. The wrong definition. The wrong dictionary. You must have one of antonyms, not synonyms. You must have you must be reading from a book of antonyms, the opposite of compassion, right? You must be. Hey, George. Yeah, Benny. George, what does this say? I can't read the title. Let me see. COMPASSION. You know, I'm not sure about that word. COMPASSION. You know what I think? What, George? I think that's when you're selfish and you don't care about somebody else. Oh, thank you, George. I really appreciate that, George. George, I love you, George. I'm gonna. I'm gonna hug you, George. I'm gonna hug and kiss you, George. George, you're my best friend. George, you're the only friend I got. Thank you for telling me what that word is, COMPASSION. It means not caring for somebody else. Thank you, George. Now I know how to live by that. Might as well. Might as well, right? You know, that's what we got. That's what we got. So, we got the fake news calling Trump a potential mass murderer, okay? That as many people will die. More than 6 million Jews died in Nazi concentration camps. And there were so many others who also died. Homosexuals died. Gypsies died. Communists died. Anarchists died. People plotting to murder Hitler died. Anybody caught not reading from a Nazi periodical or not listening to Nazi radio, they were taken and arrested and shot. So there's so many more people than 6 million. And how many people do we have in this country? And how many people died under Mao Zedong? How many people died from Stalin? And how many people are there in the United States? And you're saying that he's going to kill more people than the three of them combined? Come on, do your mathematics and your history. You must have fallen asleep through all of your schooling. I don't even think there's that many people in the world of those combined, those three combined. I think there's fewer people living on this planet than those three, the victims of those three combined. Come on. Don't think that we don't got a brain. So this is what we got. We got accusing Trump of being a super mass murderer, which would be that's a laughing stock charge if I ever heard one. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this lie about Trump needing a co-signer. Why would a millionaire need a co-signer? That's right, he wouldn't. That's why that doesn't make any sense. Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Think, you idiot. Think. Doesn't make any sense. Well, of course it doesn't make any sense. That is so absurd. And people believed it. God. The blind leading the blind is what we got. And then Pelosi saying, don't send any money to help improve conditions down at the border after we complained about it. You know, so I'm glad I'm not a Democrat anymore. Now that it makes me makes me ashamed of ever been one. But then I didn't really know what was going on in the Democrat Party. You know? So that's what I want to talk to you about first. Of those three things. Pelosi objecting to Trump helping the conditions down at the border after they were complaining about it. 2, the outrageous charge that Trump needed a co-signer from somebody Russian, you know, and everything he'd been saying was America first, America first, America first, America first. Well, it's because he's lying. He's been lying nonstop. Oh, come on. Do you really expect us to believe that? And you're spinning this crazy story about Deutsche Bank, and then you have to retract. We apologize for what I said. I apologize, I was wrong. Well, how about your facts? Do you admit that your facts were wrong, or your guess was wrong? You know? It's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And I think the more they pull these things, the more transparent they all become. That we can see right through it. It's like, yeah, right. I think he's been taking a little nip of that gin. I think you need Alcoholics Anonymous, you people. I think you're too drunk or too stoned to know reality if it hits you in the face. You're all in your own imagination. How many crack pipes did you smoke before you ran that? And there's a breeze out here, but I think it's a warm breeze. Yeah. And one last thing I want to talk about is the Democrats' hope for a recession. They want to destroy our country just to make Trump look bad. They don't care about America. They're criminals is what they are. But at least Bill Maher was being honest when he said that he was hoping for a recession. And there's so many people were covering that about Bill Maher was hoping for a recession. So what they did was, those on the left that is, they took that and turned it around and created a news story about it, that a recession is about to come. Okay, now, that's another fear-mongering tactic. So they try to instill fear in Americans by demonizing Trump. That didn't happen. That didn't work. And now they're now going after the economy. Because everything that they're doing is not working. And you know, I think I may be the only one who saw this and can see this. But think about California for a minute. The homelessness there. No money being used to help those. Where everybody's sleeping out on the street. Where there's drugs. Hey, I'm not surprised at that. Heroin needles? Nah. Crack pipes? Nope. I'm not surprised at that. I'm not surprised the sidewalks are littered with feces and pee and drug needles and drug pipes. That's not surprising at all. Okay. So now they're turning it around and saying a recession is about to happen. Because everything that they're doing. Okay, I was right. I just lost myself for a minute. Okay, what's happening in California is not surprising at all. Because they are a very submissive community. And they believe that everybody should get high if they want to. But guess what happens? With everybody high, they don't do any work. They don't do any work. Nothing gets done. And you got the situation you got now.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Okay, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
The disease, the rats. Okay. Let Trump call Los Angeles a rat-infested mess, just like he called Baltimore a rat-infested mess. They can't say Trump's racist in saying that. There's a lot of white people live there, a lot of Caucasians.
Hi.
Hi. And they had footage of rats. We got rats and disease all over there. And Gavin Newsom, I think his name is, instead of using his money for more productive, imperative, more important needs, and making sure that everybody's working, everybody's contributing, everybody's involved, he'd rather spend that money on a foolhardy endeavor of a bullet train that would stretch from San Francisco to Los Angeles. And then, as more money was spent on that project, he was still in the red. He couldn't get out of it. And then he had to cancel it. All that money wasted. Okay. I know that's the door, but wow. That only goes off if the door's open too long. I don't think it was. So, I'm seeing a lot of...
Are you causing trouble in here?
No. Hope not. Oh, beautiful breeze coming in from inside. Yeah. Now I forgot what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying. So, I remember now what I was talking about. I was talking about recession, right? That at first they were saying we want a recession so we can get rid of Trump. That was the first and the only honest thing they have said over there on that side. At least you're honest, and we respect you for being honest. That is how you truly feel. You hate our president so much, and you want him out, that you're willing to destroy our country by hoping for a recession. And then what do? They take that and they turn it around and create a news report that a recession is on the rise. A recession may hit at any time. So they're fear-mongering those on elect. And so then everybody starts worrying about a recession when there's no indication that there's any on the horizon. Okay?
Are you recording?
Me. She wasn't in the shot. I don't know why she was mad at me for. So, yeah. Now they're saying a recession is going to happen. So everybody starts panicking. You hope for a recession to happen, and now by you saying that one's coming. Okay? Now everybody's starting to worry. And then everybody's coming out and saying, no, we're nowhere near recession. The economy is strong. There's nothing like that happening. Because that's the one thing that Trump has good going for him, is the economy. So they tried everything else. They tried to take him down. Now they're trying to take down an accomplishment.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, Izzy.
Hey.
They really want to destroy our country. They're totally un-American. So, hey, Mike.
Jim.
To hope for a recession so much that they're going to spread a false story that one is about to hit. Okay, makes me think of college again. During a party night, I'd open the window and I'd hear all these shrieks and screams and all these sounds out my window. I said, "Oh my God, I'm staying in my room. I ain't coming out while the inmates are taking over the asylum." So, fear-mongering. All fear-mongering. That's all it is. So, anyway, that's what I want to say, and that's what I want to mention. Those four things. The false narrative, or the phony or fake news that a recession is on the line. The false claim that Trump is going to be a mass murderer. The false, them wanting to stop helping the people at the border. And that crazy story about Trump needing a co-signer, which is absurd in and of itself. So, they're really getting desperate, folks. So anyway, I think this is a good place to stop. And, because I pretty much said all I want to say today. Alright, so, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Take care, and I'll see you later. Okay, take care.